Welcome to the Not On My Watch podcast, where real-life issues facing the family and the church are addressed with bold and uncompromising truth. It's time to reject the mediocrity of the day, live courageously in the face of danger, and declare, Not On My Watch. Here are your hosts, Jeff and Rochelle Ferguson.
Welcome to the Not On My Watch podcast. We're Jeff and Rochelle, excited to be with you today. Thanks for listening wherever you are listening, wherever you're watching, driving.
Maybe you're working out.
Yeah,
Maybe
work out. Just keep going.
Just keep going, yes.
But hey, we're excited. Today we're talking about something I think is really cool. Not just cool, but important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I don't know. I think essential. I really think it's essential.
No, I was going to say that, and I don't think you can what we're about ready to talk about, I don't think you can overstate. I don't think you can talk about enough. It's that important. It's that foundational and essential.
So we're talking about having a safe place in a big bad world.
Yeah.
That's the title. Have a safe place in a big bad world. And, we're probably going to talk a little bit about, I think we're going to really hit some parenting topics here, but really this is universal that each one of us need a safe place in a big bad world.
Yes.
And I think if we don't have it, we're just going to be eaten up.
We're going to be eaten up because I'm consistently realizing, and whether it's, our kids going out into the world, us going out into the world can be an evil place. The world can be a harsh place. There's a lot of great things that happen. But, when I see my kids hurting because of maybe what someone said, or just when people are not kind, wow, the weight of that is difficult sometimes to handle when you see that.
I think it's important that we say that.
Yes.
Because if not, we'll be caught off guard by it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think many people are there. We're like, what? What? I thought everybody had my best interest in mind, or I thought everybody would want to help me. I know this sounds like super, this is truth talk right here. This is truth talk with Rochelle. Truth talk with Rochelle. Not everybody, and Jeff. Sorry, I was just saying,
it's joke.
I was just kind of saying, because literally, not everybody has your best interest. Not everybody wants the best for you. And that, if you don't realize that, then you won't use discernment. Mm-hmm. And so, especially in parenting, this is really, really important. And so I want to share a story. A couple of weeks ago, we were on a ministry trip, Not On My Watch, Travels.
Yes.
And we were in Florida. It was actually really cold where we live, but we had gone down to southern Florida, like middle Florida, Orlando area. And we were there, and we took a couple extra days to be there as well. And it was fun. We did, the things that were fun. We didn't do like the amusement parks, but we did, go to the pool and stuff. And so one morning we were at the pool and we were the only family there.
That was pretty cool, by the way.
I think it was like pretty early.
Yeah.
Our kids were like, let's go swimming. Everybody else is like, what? They're from the north. They think it's warm. We don't, but I thought it was great. So we were at this really large pool, and we had the full reign of the place. We could go to the hot tub. There were 2 pools. So everybody kind of spread out and did their thing. So our youngest daughter, she's 7, and she got loaded up with her goggles, all the things ready.
All the gear.
And so she's in this pool, and this pool kind of is really big. It's really big. And it's one of those pools where you could walk in. And so it just starts getting deeper. And so she's in it, and she's floating on her back. She wants to float all around the whole pool, and it's pretty safe. I don't think it went too deep or whatever. And so she's doing that, and then she goes, Mama, can you play a game with me? And I was like, sure. And so what she wanted to do was close her eyes and float on her back and just use her hands to motor herself around. And she wanted me to tell her if she was going to hit something.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I'm standing outside the pool, walking around wherever she goes. And she'd be every now and again, she'd be like, Mom, am I okay? I'm like, yeah, you're good. You're good. Move a little to the right or whatever. And she'd be like, okay, Mom, am I okay? because she wasn't, she didn't have her eyes open. She wanted to play this game, but she still wanted to make sure she was okay.
Yes.
And I think I tell that story because I think it relates to exactly what we're talking about. That I know that pool had some things that she could have run into, hit, all those kind of things. She was out in the unknown or whatever, but she wanted to make sure she was still okay. Am I okay? And I think we need that.
Yes.
I need that. Like continually coming back and saying, okay, I can't see all that's going around me, God. I don't know, I don't know what wave I'm coming up upon or what thing I'm coming up upon on like the side of the pool, but am I okay?
Oh man.
And it just kind of hit me that day. And I think we all need that safe place. And so that's what we're talking about today.
Well, even over in Scripture, doesn't God is our safe place? He's talking. He is a refuge we run into. And when I think about this, what you're talking about, that picture that you created for us, was that a safe place is this place where we can. It's almost like take a breather. It's almost like where we can. Okay, we can come back to in again, kids do, but every person, because when we know there's a safe place, we can do the things we were born to do, we were intended to do, that might be a little daring. Yeah,
I was going to say, she was willing to take a risk.
Yes.
As long as she knew she was okay.
And so we need, you're right. When you say everybody needs that.
Everybody.
Adults, parents, everybody.
We might do some application, especially for parents in this episode, but I think each one of us need to know that we have a safe place. I mean, I think about this with marriage. This has got to be our safe place. And if we don't find a safe place, if we don't feel that our home is a safe place, we will be nomads looking everywhere for that safe place. And the problem is that it'll be catastrophic for what we will find. Because again, not everybody out there has your best interest in mind. And if we look to some of these places that are never meant to be our safe place, it'll be catastrophic.
Oh, it'll be catastrophic because you just brought up marriage. In a marriage relationship, if it's not safe, you're not going to talk about the things you have to talk about. Be truthful, be real, be honest, like we talked about in previous episodes. And really, what's going to happen is when there's that lack, you're right. You're going to try to find that somewhere. So it's absolutely catastrophic.
And I think it's important to note, we're just going to go through a couple of points. One, not everywhere is safe.
Yeah.
I know you're like, you already said that. I get it. But this is something that we have to literally understand. Because if not, I think it can really catch us off guard. We've got to know that we cannot expect certain places or certain relationships to be that safe place when they're not intended to be that.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. There's no other place outside of this marriage relationship, not only that I should run to, but it's not safe. This is the safe place. You're right. Not every friend group is a safe place. Not every thing you're a part of is a safe, and so you really have to discern. Is this a safe place? Is this not? Because not everywhere is. It's so huge. I mean,
well, I think about we were sitting across the table from another pastor, and I'm not saying this story like we were sitting across the table from a friend, and really we're talking about ourselves. No, okay, this isn't like a friend. This is like literally this literally happened.
Yeah.
It was not us. Although there might be some appropriate correlations, but. This literally was a friend, and we were sitting across the table at a coffee shop, I remember, and this pastor was going through a really tumultuous time. Like, if I went through, we'd have like podcasts on that, but just
maybe we should start a series.
Oh, that'd be so sad, and maybe bring a lot of healing though too.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this pastor was going through like church split type things, and people were threatening to vote him out, and it was just like some real hateful stuff.
Gross.
Like we got to see a lot of it firsthand, and I wonder, even people who are listening are like, oh, is that really true? Like it was.
It's true.
And so we got to see a lot of it, and it was. Anyways, so he was going through that, and he was struggling, and he said, my mom told me growing up. She always told me that if I was nice enough, everybody would like me. And he goes, I'm struggling because I have that recording of my mom in my mind. And yet I'm in this situation where like, no, not everybody's liking me. Like, was I not nice enough? What's truth here? And I, you think, well, a church, shouldn't it be like a place where you can, find that? Shouldn't that be your safe place? Wow, I think it should be, but it's not always the case. And this was that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
that's why we're champions of healthy church culture.
Yeah.
That's why we're champions of that, because should it be? Absolutely. But unfortunately, even as you tell a story, I get emotional thinking about that because I resonate with that.
Yeah.
I resonate with this thought that this should be a place, and so everybody's not liking me, so what's going on? It's a very disorienting feeling. And when
he was sharing that, and it was.
I mean, disorienting is too charitable of a word. It's a horrible feeling when you go into a place that you feel is safe and you realize, wait a minute, this is not, and you feel exposed. You feel like, what am I doing wrong? I mean, this
was what he was coming to. I mean, he was sitting here thinking, is my mom right? Am I not being nice enough? And I don't remember if it was in that conversation or if maybe this came to me afterwards. Like, you sometimes have better memory of events.
I was wearing a Navy shirt, by the way.
So I'm like, did I black out? Like, what happened? Anyways, that's a different podcast. But I remember either in that moment or later thinking or saying this, that, you know what? Was Jesus not nice enough when he was led to the cross?
Oh,
like, Jesus did nothing to warrant the cross. Nothing. Like, he didn't break a crime. He wasn't mean to anyone. He was nice, and I don't even really like that word because it means coy. He was kind. There is no one more kind than Jesus. Not one. None of us, none of you listening are more kind than Jesus. I am not kinder than Jesus. And yet, the kindness of Jesus led him to die a criminal's death on a cross. Wow. And so that's a false statement. And I think that the person we were sitting across the table with really had to wrestle with that. Yeah. And I think that what we're really wrestling with is that not everywhere is safe. Not everywhere, not every environment really wants the best for you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a tough spot to be, but you've got to recognize that if you're going to raise kids who follow Jesus, if you're going to have a healthy marriage that follows Jesus, if you're just going to be a follower of Jesus, following Jesus, you got to recognize that not everybody has your best interest in mind. Not every place is a safe place. And you've got to have that safe place in the big bad world. Because
we will set our kids up for sore disappointment if we say, everything's fine. You can trust that person only because they carry the title.
Okay, so what is a safe place? Like, because if any of you have watched John Crist, he's a Christian comedian.
Oh my!
We've seen him a couple of times.
Yes.
And we sometimes watch his videos, like, because they're funny. Okay, like
they are hilarious.
Maybe a little edgy for some, but they're funny.
And if you're watching, John.
Yes,
welcome.
Thank you for
welcome to the Not on My Watch podcast.
Glad you're here. We'll tag you in this. Yes. So, anyways, I think I remember he has this thing like safe place. This isn't my safe place. like it's some trigger word. Yes. And so,
it is. I mean, even in our culture, there are safe places.
I'm not feeling safe. I'm not
basically feeling safe. If everything has to agree with your worldview for it to be a safe, and if there's any disagreement, it's not a safe place. So that's not what we're talking about.
That is that's not. I really think what we're really even talking about is a safe haven.
That's
a place where you can come back to. You can't always be there. You have to go live in the world. You have to go to sometimes your work isn't a safe haven. Sometimes relationship. You have to live in the world, and we know that in this world you're going to have trouble. Jesus said, right? So there's going to be trouble. But you've got to have that safe haven to come home to, that place and a safe haven is a place where you can be completely yourself without fear of rejection. Oh. And I think about this especially as a mom. Yeah. Like, my kids need to know there is nothing that they can do where they're going to be rejected in this home. They don't have to say the right thing. They don't have to even act the right way. And I know some of you are like,
What?
What kind of parenting
thought this was
expert
a
are
parent-
you? You're saying my kids can act however they want and still be accepted? Yes. Yes, I am. Quote me. Like, make a reel
Yes.
out of that. Because seriously, yes.
Yes.
Your kids can act however they want and they still need to be accepted.
Absolutely.
Does that mean their behavior is accepted or approved of? No.
No.
But they're accepted.
But they need to know that they can come home to, and you adults need this, places where they can just be completely who they are. They can come and they can be silly, they can be fun, they can even be appropriate.
They can even be annoying.
They can be, which, hey, so this week was our anniversary, and I'm sure I've never been annoying in light of our 19 years of marriage, but
I've never been annoyed.
let me just say I've been completely myself very often. This is a place where my wife allows me to be completely anyway. But we need to be show appropriate frustration and even anger. By the way, those are emotions.
Yes.
God did not, He created us with those emotions.
Yeah.
Without that fear of you shouldn't think, you shouldn't. What if we're showing those appropriate emotions? There needs to be a place for that, and we can't. Our kids need to know. We need to know we're not going to have this haven that there will be rejection. Now there can be correction.
Correction and rejection are different.
But yeah, that is not.
Correction and rejection are different.
And so, when
So
people
important.
feel like they can be completely themselves, incredible conversations happen. Transparent conversation, healing conversations can
Absolutely.
happen. Joy-filled moments, truth can happen. And so that need to be completely, where you don't feel like you need to come in and put the mask on, is a place that every 100% of people need.
Absolutely.
You can't feel like you have to put on the mask.
Like, you've got to be able to talk. And this is going to require parents. I'm going to let you know, this is a parenting tip 101. Don't freak out. You are not allowed to freak out.
She said this for me.
I did not, because I have been there and I have freaked out before. And, I've had to apologize to my kids. But if they share something with you, you cannot freak out.
Even dads, even in your eyes. What?
Yeah, they're like, Dad, you're doing that eyebrow thing. And you're like, what? I'm just moving them. No, but literally, you cannot freak out.
Yeah.
And that's part of being a place where, you know what? Anything can be talked about. Sometimes when my kids bring up certain things, I'm like, whoa. You talk about stuff no offense, Mom, if you're listening to this, I didn't talk to you about that. And I'm like, this is I'm like, okay, apparently I'm raising authentic children.
There'll
really
be sometimes,
transparent.
so we all girls, if you've never met us, we have all girls. So there'll be sometimes I'm like, I'll look at you going, is this okay? Do I need to leave? I don't want to say anything to shame anybody's, but that was weird. Sorry, I may cut that out.
Now we're doing completely authenticity here.
Yeah.
But really, no, that's it. I mean, literally, you can't freak out.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
if you freak out, then what you tell them, and this is not a safe haven to share even your thoughts. Can I tell you, the Lord doesn't freak out with our thoughts.
And He knows our thoughts.
That's why I love the Psalms.
Yes.
Read the Psalms. If you're feeling like you need some encouragement, go to the Psalms.
Yeah.
Because it's real stuff is talked about. David is like, God, are you even there? Are you going to help me? I'm like...
And he didn't apologize for saying that. He just...
Right. And what I'm saying is God can handle it.
Because God's a refuge.
Because God's a real dad.
A safe place we run to over and over again, and we can say these things. We can bring to Him He's not afraid. Hey, as parents, we can't be afraid to have to hear our kids' fears, their questions, their doubts.
And if they're not sharing them with you, then they're either internalizing them or they're sharing them somewhere else that may not be safe.
I want to know if my kid has a doubt. You say, even about their faith, even about their faith. Guess what?
Yes.
I want to know it.
Absolutely.
I want to know it.
Okay.
So.
All right, so a safe place, safe haven, safe space is a place where you can be completely yourself.
Even annoying.
I just don't know why you keep saying that.
Sorry.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. And then lastly, it's a place where you're unconditionally loved.
Oh, I love this one.
This, again, I think it's important to say that doesn't mean unconditional approval of your actions, choices, lifestyle. No, that if that's the case, then you're not hearing us. Like,
yes.
It is unconditional love. It's a place, I think about the prodigal. I
that's
just
the first
do.
place I go to in my mind.
It's you know what? Doesn't matter how far you've run. Doesn't matter. Let me just tell you, you'll always be welcome back here.
Yep.
Come back home. Come back home. That's literally your home has to be that place. But also the prodigal, the father, the father didn't be like, oh my goodness.
He did be like.
He wasn't like, oh, what my son is doing is so godly. Oh, I should literally write a Facebook post about this. My son is so godly as he's living in the pigs. No, it was like, if you read the account of the prodigal, it's like literally living with the pigs.
Yep.
And then he said, I came to my senses.
He came to his senses because of the love of the Father. He understood his home.
He could have a safe haven.
Was a safe place that he could run to. There could be repentance, there could be forgiveness, which did happen in the story, and it would not be told you so. Told you so.
Right, and not even an approval because of your actions. It's not love because you performed well.
Exactly,
son.
Love despite your performance, and again,
because unconditional love literally means without conditions.
And so our kids can act and do anything they want to do. And nothing will change my love.
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch will my love for them change. Will I approve of everything? No. But even in those moments of disapproval, I still love them. Because it's the love that always brings people back. It's not our rejection. If we think we're going to win people through rejecting them, we're sorely mistaken.
It's the kindness of the Lord that leads to repentance.
That's why in any kind of conflict situation, as long as your faces are turning toward each other, as long as you're engaged, that's a fine place to be.
So as long as our fists aren't raised.
As long as our fists are, well,
we never do that.
Never. But the moment we stop talking, the moment we stop engaging, that's the moment that
conflict grows.
Conflict absolutely grows.
And can grow out of control.
Yep.
So this safe haven is literally like a solid foundation. Solid foundation for a kid. It's a solid foundation for any relationship. This is transferable. If you're like, man, I'm not a parent, or I don't really know how to transfer. They're like, this is everywhere. You can endeavor to make your relationships a safe place, a safe haven. By saying, okay, you know what? This is built on unconditional love. This is built on acceptance. This is built on truth. This is built on, like you said, if there's an argument, we're facing it up. We're getting it, and the reality is that everybody needs this.
100% of people.
I've just been really confronted lately with the amount of isolation that people feel. And it just shouldn't be that way.
No.
I mean, I think about people who leave churches and nobody ever calls them. Or, it's like they separate from their life and no, so isolation is real and everybody is looking for this safe haven. And you don't need 1 billion people to be this for you. You really just need a place, a landing place, a soft spot. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out and deal with the big bad world and then I'm going to come back.
Because having that place gives you the strength, the resilience to go back out and do it again. And be effective in that place.
Do it again.
And do it again. So
win others. Absolutely. Yep. So I hope this was helpful. Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. You covered it all, my love.
Not that we covered it all. But hey, some of this even that we were talking about, you saw me scrolling over here maybe, some of this is from our book that
which we are currently writing.
Super getting close to. So, hey, if you are a fan of Not on My Watch, keep praying about this book. We're really excited. It's going to be... I'm just the Lord's helping us tremendously.
He is.
So
it's exciting. Yep. Absolutely.
And look for it to be on bookshelves near you.
Absolutely.
Hopefully sooner rather than later. So anyways, all right. Thanks for listening. Share Like us on all the
socials.
Follow,
all the
please. It
platforms.
helps.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. We'll see ya.
See you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Not On My Watch podcast. You are a watchman for this time and hour. Don't forget to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you listen. If you haven't already, head on over to our website, www.notonmywatch.co, for more resources from Jeff and Rochelle. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time on the next episode. But until then, keep watchful.